watching Soulful Discussion.
Toe alignment.
So, hi, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, I'm doing great. So, first of all, how did our paths cross today?
You walked up and said, can I do a small little interview? And
Absolutely.
I said, for sure.
Nice, nice. You remember what the interview was going to be about? What did I tell you it was about?
Well, you asked me a little bit about, what is it, reflexology?
Correct.
And if I knew anything about that, but that's kind of it.
Okay, cool. And I also told you I deal with, like, we talk about mental health a
Oh,
little bit, but I'm
yeah.
trying to find ways to, like, kind of change up the way I do my interviews a little bit more. So, like, this is something I came up with. Let me ask you a question. First of all, when you think about your own feet, what is something that comes to mind, like, when you think about that?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about it? Like that, maybe that's a better question. Have you ever thought about like what your feet mean to you and things like that?
Not really. Like when it comes to, so I was a dancer when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time on my feet. I like did ballet and like jazz and tap and all of that.
Okay.
So yeah, just like having a healthy foot condition also, just like because I always dealt with like athlete's foot as a kid too.
That's
so
a big one.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would always like try to make sure that my feet were always clean and stuff because I'd be using like the ballet shoes that were at the freaking ballet center and everything. So yeah, I never really like thought about like what exactly like my purpose of my feet are besides moving.
So one of the things that like I've learned throughout my life, so I remember hearing a parable about this, and maybe you've heard this one before, but it's about the guy who was like complaining about not having shoes, constantly complaining about that, and one day he looks over and sees the guy that doesn't have feet, and then he's like, oh wow, okay. The things I'm complaining about are not as important, and like be grateful for like what you have, right?
Yeah.
So like when I ask that question to a lot of people don't think about their feet, like what it means. Like sometimes later in life you can have problems with your feet, like get that, you know, like you kind of talk about the athlete's foot, fungus, like things like that. People who have diabetes, sometimes you can have to have your foot amputated.
Well, didn't what's his name get his foot? He didn't want to get his foot amputated. Bob Marley, because of like religious reasons. Yeah, he had like foot cancer or something like that.
Currently, Deion Sanders, who's a famous football player, is dealing with the same thing. So he's already had a couple toes amputated, and now they're talking about possibly having to cut off his foot.
His whole foot.
Like, because they're like just basically you're not getting enough blood flow there. So absolutely. So let me ask you this: when you think about like now, kind of I've asked you that question. Do you kind of have more things in mind when you think about your feet? Like if you were to think about them now.
Oh hell yeah.
Talk about the dancer and stuff. But
you know, definitely, especially when it comes to like I don't know. I've watched some videos on Instagram as well where they like talk about like your feet and stuff and how like the shoes you wear like impact like how grounded you are and like how feet positions are actually supposed to be, and it'll show like people before they were like walking barefoot constantly and then after and how like spread out their toes are and shit. I was like, that's lit.
Because our toes are meant to like
grip
onto
things
and like be able to do that, but because we wear shoes they confined it and like
narrow it and everything.
Absolutely. So some of the things I go on and talk about, basically getting the medical pedicures, right? A lot of people focus on the cosmetic ones, right? But there are medical ones that you can go get where basically a podiatrist basically tell you about your feet, give you information, like basically take care of like if you have fungus and different things like that. And they also make specialized orthotics for the foot, like so like if you're flat-footed, a lot of people who suffer from like wearing certain shoes, or if you have a pronounced arch, like there's certain orthotics you can get made specifically for your foot.
Yeah, my brother, he has super flat feet. He like couldn't go into the army because of it, because they're like,
they don't let you. There's
certain things, you can't do with flat feet.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this: in terms of when it comes to feet and mental health, do you feel like they correlate in any kind of way?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like kind of a tricky one, because when I think about my mental health, I don't think about my feet at all. I don't even really think about like, well, I guess so, because I feel like with mental health, you also have to like focus on your physical health too. And like your physical health is like a big thing when it comes to your mental health, because if you physically feel good, usually you mentally feel good. So thank you for sparking that.
Absolutely. That's all about, so what I try to go on and talk about is like the fact that we have these three different like areas in our life, right? Mentally, spiritually, physically, right? One of those things is often can impact the other one. So a lot of times when our mental health is not doing good, a lot of times our physical health is also impacted by that. And so when it comes to your feet, actually your feet carry all the weight, not just physically, but also emotionally. Sometimes when you're depressed and things like that, those emotions get sent down into your feet, and it can affect your posture, different things like that. So it's the type of information I try to go out and give. Real quick, let me have you go back if you can to the first page on there. And one of the things I want you to focus, because I saw you looking at it. Okay?
Yeah, I was like, my toes.
Yeah. So can you put your feet out here? I want you to tell me, like, based on that.
I got pretty feet now.
But based on that, what do you think is, like, your toe alignment on it?
Well, now that I look at it says African, and I'm,
Did you think yours fits that one more, or is it? Because it might not necessarily be that one. It might be another one.
Could be Egyptian, too.
It could be Egyptian. A lot of times I think people sometimes think that, and it could easily be another one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. In terms of that, do you feel like the different toe alignments can have any impact on maybe like the way you walk, maybe the way you do certain things at all?
Like toe alignment. Yeah. I feel like it can affect like your balance, especially like, because I hike a lot too.
Okay.
So I've come to realize that I have amazing balance when I'm hiking.
Well, you're a dancer too.
Exactly. I have amazing balance.
Slipping and falling all over the place on stage, and people are like, what's up with this
girl? That's sick. But when it comes to like people that I've taken on like hikes and stuff, they're not usually. It's either like they physically just don't want to do it, or they're like, this is hard. I just can't see myself climbing over shit. That's just way too much. So yeah.
Sometimes people are like, no, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. All right, if I can, because we're not quite done yet. Can we get you to put your feet out again? Like put them out straight though, like this, like both feet, and just sit them like out straight. Okay. And then so in terms of your feet, do you feel like you're flat-footed more? Or do you have an arch?
I have an arch for sure.
Okay. Has that helped you out at all, like in your life, with like making certain steps and stuff? Has it made it easier, harder? What's your thoughts?
I feel like it's made it easier just because like, I don't know. I've always spent a lot of time like on the soles of my feet as a kid too. And I feel like I walk on my toes a little bit too. Like I kind of like... Yeah.
Usually more athletes and stuff, they tend to do that. People who like in like dance and stuff, they tend to have that understanding of being here as opposed to just like walking more like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we kind of go through when we talk about this, let's talk about reflexology for a little bit. We kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
What have your experiences been like with reflexology? Have you ever gone and gotten a massage and been like, I'm targeting this area, like I'm having pain here, so I want to target this?
I've never done that, but I have gotten like full body massages.
Okay.
And usually like I think the last one I got was like a Swedish massage, and that like they were like working in like working into your thing, and it honestly like I was sore afterwards. I was like, oh shit, like she worked my shit.
Yeah.
But like 2 days later, like I just felt all this tension release. I felt relaxed. I felt it was amazing.
That's usually how it works, because a lot of times we carry that stress around without even knowing it. Like you're actively just doing things, and you're just like, you feel normal, but actually you're taking on a lot more stress. So it's always interesting there. So usually when we get to reflexology, we like to talk about sensitivity. Let me ask you a question. How ticklish do you tend to be? Like,
I'm fucking ticklish.
You get pedicures?
Yeah, and I'm like, don't do it! I'm like, harder! Scrub harder!
I have a trick. Do you mind if we test it out? Because it kind of like connects to the reflexology portion.
Are you going to touch my toes?
I have a tool to use.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Right. As long as it's clean.
Oh yeah, it's clean. I make sure it's sanitized.
I'm not going through foot fungus again.
No. You don't have to worry about that. She's like, they're not about to have me up in there. No,
I ain't buying no creams. I ain't doing none of that.
All right, cool. So what I want you to do is tell me like which foot is most sensitive and where do you feel it at the most, okay? Cool. So let me have you put both feet side by side, okay? And what we're going to do is start with your right. Tell me where you feel it at the most and then which foot is most sensitive.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, and...
Right
so you
here.
felt it immediately, so it's right in the middle. Okay, cool. Try to hold it in because I'm trying to get all the way up the foot, so just see if it's more sensitive in a certain area. 1, 2, 3, and then... So it's right in the middle. Not so much okay, cool. Let's try your left. Tell me if you feel it more on your left side.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and then... Which one was worse? Right or left? Right. So here's what I want you to do. While I'm doing, I want you to wiggle your toes. I want you to tell me if you feel it more or less. So wiggle here on the right side. You feel it more or less?
A little bit less.
A little bit less. What did it go down to? Because originally I imagine it's like a 9 or a 10.
Oh, it's like a 9 when you first do it, and then now it's like a 6 or 7.
So more manageable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Like it can hold it in.
Let's try your left, and I'm going to tell you why that happens.
Okay.
Okay. Less?
Way less.
So you don't even really feel it, right?
Exactly.
So first of all, let me ask you, do you know why you feel it less?
I'm concentrating on doing something else rather than you tickling me.
Big part of it.
Okay.
Also, think about it this way, right? when it comes to energy, right? So I'm doing this. This is creating energy, right?
Yeah.
By you moving your toes, like you're actually like reversing the energy. So you're basically dispersing the energy to different areas. So when you would normally feel it in a certain area because you're wiggling your toes, it's like moving around, so you don't feel it as much in one area. So you get your pedicures, wiggle your toes a little bit, it'll definitely help you out. True. Absolutely. Okay. So let me get you to do a couple exercises with your feet. This is to test dexterity, flexibility you have in your feet, okay? You're probably very flexible because you're a dancer, but we're going to test it out anyway. Okay. Anyway, let me get you to bend your toes first, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. So just do this. Easy to do, hard to do. Easy. Any pain? No. Relax. Spread your toes next. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping. That was a little harder.
And I can't even fucking do it.
That was a little harder. Do you ever do any stretches for your feet?
Not really.
All right, got some tricks for you. Okay. Last one, just wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything happen after a while. Nope. Okay, cool. God, so here's something that you can do in the mornings. You probably don't ever think about doing this because you're probably just like, I don't really have the time. Yeah. But I guarantee you have the time if you do this, okay? So you can take a tennis ball, okay? So try rolling your foot across this. Tell me what you're feeling while you're doing that. Okay. Do you feel like it's kind of stretching a little bit? Do you feel like it's, like, what do you feel?
I feel like a nice amount of pressure in like my arch. Pressure, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that, like you said, you walk on your toes a lot, so probably more on those arches, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's try your left. Let's see how that feels. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Feels nice. So now I got one that's going to up the ante for you. And if you try this at home, this one's going to get in a little deeper for you, okay? Okay. So let me have you try this one. It's a golf ball, right? Try rolling that. Tell me how it feels. Oh. Feels like it's getting in there a little bit more, right? Yeah,
that's nice though.
Absolutely.
I actually really like that.
So that's something that you can do, like, because you don't stretch your feet enough. Like, a lot of those muscles and tendons that you, like, need to use more, you don't normally use them, you can do this in the mornings.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, right here.
Yeah, right there is a good spot?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go ahead and keep that.
I can keep this one?
You keep that. I got a bunch of them. But anyway, in terms of... like my approach coming up to you and I asked you to do this interview. Yeah. What did you feel my approach was like? Was it good? Was it bad?
Yeah, you came up, you're respectful, nice. Everything was chill. You told me about your interview and what you were looking into, and I've never talked about my feet like that before, so that was kind of interesting to learn a little bit about that. So thank you for the knowledge. I appreciate that.
Also, and the golf ball.
Yes, and the golf ball.
There it is. So let me ask you this. In terms of the interview from start to finish, could you kind of see how everything was going along the line? Did it make sense to you? Did you learn anything new from the information I provided? Yeah, no, definitely new information, especially when it comes to like mental health in your feet, because I feel like your feet is something that like helps you feel grounded in life. So like being able to like go outside and be, you know, with no shoes and like be out in nature and stuff is definitely great for your mental health. Yeah, and it's interesting. So I talked to a lady about, I think it's 2 weeks ago. I met her over there. She's actually a fire twirler, right? Mm-hmm. And she told me that she had hurt her back a while ago. She's actually a yoga instructor now. Mm-hmm. Hurt her back a while ago, and she said all she did, she's like, she didn't do any major like rehab or anything. She's like, she just went out and grounded like every single day. Yeah. She said literally like started to feel way better. She got to the point now where she's like, she does that actively just to make sure she keeps that up. Yeah. People don't know there's like healing energies in the earth, right? Oh, hell yeah. Photosynthesis and all that stuff. We get energy from the sun. It comes down and plants and stuff, and that energy can be sent right back to you. Exactly. Oxygen from the trees, everything. Yep. Absolutely. So last thing I always ask, something that you can say to my channel. Maybe it's a life lesson that you learned. Maybe it's wise words that somebody shared with you once. Anything that you say to my channel that could be helpful to you. Don't overthink it either. Whatever comes to your mind first. Well, I don't know. Just stay true to yourself. Yeah. Don't bend over backwards for people. Put in the energy that you would for others into yourself, because no one's going to look after you the way you would. But yeah, soulful. Be soulful. Be mindful, especially with yourself. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview with us. Of course. And we hope that you have a great one, okay? Thank you. All right.